Live now.
Hi all, very good morning. I'm Professor Dr. Minalo. Welcome you all for the Virtual International Development Program's 5th day. So the entire journey during the week was very dynamic, very interactive, and really a brainstorming, I should say. We are getting a lot from the invited eminent personalities. We are brainstorming with them. We are finding out the various ways of development as far as the LIS field is concerned. The frame of this program is focused on the services in the virtual world and how we can increase the quality and effectivity by utilizing various tools as well as the techniques related to management and the ICT techniques. So the program is really a hub of technology as well as management techniques, as well as the government policies also we are considering in that. So it is a well mixture of all the required elements in the current scenario, and always we are trying to peep in the future. So the theme today for the panel discussion is libraries and information centers in present and future. So what we are visualizing as far as the future of libraries is concerned, so that will be an interesting panel discussion. Before that, we will take a quick review of the sessions, whatever we have conducted up till now. As far as first day was concerned, inaugural session was conducted by Seema Ramprasad, President of SLA. She is from London, and she spoke on the collaborative efforts at the global level. And LIS professionals should join their hands at the global level for the unanimous progress at all levels. So it's kind of a thing, we should go beyond the boundaries, and we should try to give the progressive efforts and attitude as far as the global level is concerned. The session was very impactful, impressive, and the candidates interacted, and even they gave feedback in a positive mode from each and every corner of the globe. On the second day, we started with Shantanu Ganguly's dynamic speech on library service quality. What we mean by quality lies actually in the eyes of beholder. So our customer is only our judge. What kind of service we are providing to our users is so important. And in current scenario, how can we increase the effectivity of our service? Being a service agency, libraries are very keen about the services and even sensitive about the provided services. We all are aware. So the speech again was very interesting, and many professionals, actually for this program, more than 200 librarians from India, they registered, and they discussed through WhatsApp and regarding the library service quality with me, and what we can do for raising the level of service provision, and how can we measure the expectations of users. That was the key area as far as the service quality is concerned. The second session was conducted by Dr. Ashish Bishwas on scholarly communication. As far as this scholarly communication is concerned, this is the another area for the LIS professionals where we can do a lot, because majority of the things which are not aware to the candidates as well as the LIS professionals is about the writing skills. So how can we improve our writing skills? What are the things which are related to UGC care journals? How can we provide better service and better awareness to our users by utilizing the tools, supportive tools? So that was the session focused on various related issues, plagiarism, as well as the predatory issues discussed in this session, and even the live experiences, case studies were also discussed in this session. The next day, we started with Dr. Sri Kumar, who is the President of ManLibNet India, as well as the Director of Libraries at Geo University campus from Mumbai. And his topic was how to design the libraries, robust research libraries for the 21st century. So the topic was essentially focused on digitization and how to handle these tools, because after all, technology is a tool and there is a need to manage this technology. So everything ends in management. So technology management is a major evolving area as far as the libraries and information centers in today is concerned. Each and every word of Shri was very, very, I should say, we should take a more deep dive as far as his words are concerned. So there are very minute words he used. We should look into the entire concepts, whichever traced out by Dr. Shri. The second session was very much interesting. It was focused on marketing of library and information services. Being a service industry, we are always saying that libraries are non-profit making agencies, but our profit is nothing but our services, user satisfaction, whatever we are getting through our services. So Dr. Nabi elaborated how can we generate more and more through our services? How can we get more profit, more user satisfaction? And even he also discussed various models. How can we generate with the help of our library services? The day 4, we started with the dynamic speech of Dr. Subhash Athole, focusing on the educational policies and what is the role of librarians as well as library professionals related to this. Related to this educational policy is concerned. He discussed not only the national education policy of India, but he also focused the other educational policies introduced by the other nations like Japan, and what kind of attitude LIS professionals should imbibe as far as the educational policies are concerned. And this session was very effective. So many questions were asked in the chat box from the as far as the participants are concerned. Very good remarks given by the chairperson for this session. The second session conducted by Nasiruddin Mithun, Professor Nasiruddin Mithun, Dean of National University, Bangladesh, and a library professional, head of the library science unit of the National University. He conducted a very interesting session on knowledge, attitude and practices. Actually, he also elaborated in the question answer session how the library services improved the life of sex workers. So that was very interesting. So that paper got approval from IFLA, and that was very interesting story. Each and every candidate very interestingly discussed on that part. The last session yesterday was conducted by Jay Bhatt from Drexel University, USA. This session actually we focused and chalk out by considering many of the libraries in India where the e-resources are not subscribed. Many times we observe that the Web of Science, Scopus, all these databases are heavily paid databases, and at many places the subscription of these databases is not there. So at many times library professionals are facing difficulties in provision of services. So we chalk out the special session of Jay Bhatt from the Drexel to provide a guideline how we can effectively use open source resources, and even we can provide more effective services. How can we raise awareness as far as these open source resources is concerned among the LIS professionals? The session again was very impactful, and many professionals given me feedback in WhatsApp that these sessions are very useful. Even in chat box, we are getting so many responses from the candidates regarding the usefulness and impact of these programs. Now back to the registrations. Total 401 registration we got from the 14 countries on the globe, including USA, UK, Oman, India, Pakistan, and Kenya, Argentina, etc. I'm not again reading all the names of the countries, but in my detailed report soon will be uploaded on the website. There you will come to know how many countries are registered and how many members are there. Actually, UAE members are also interested in attending this event. So we got registrations from UAE as well. And really, I'm very happy to get this global response. Even SLA members and the ManLibNet members very enthusiastically conducted the sessions in this program. I think this is a success of program. Even our advisory members are always active and interested in delivering the sessions and giving their valuable inputs every now and then whenever we are conducting such programs for the LIS professionals as such. Apart from that, as far as registrations are concerned, total 225 librarians, 2 deputy librarians, and remaining are the other LIS professionals attended and registered for this program. Out of 401 total, 363 candidates attended this program. I'm happy to announce that. With these words, I now request our enthusiastic participants, before moving towards the other personalities, to give their live feedback. Enthusiastically, they inform me we are interested in giving the feedbacks of the program. So I call one by one. First I request Patekari to give his valuable feedback. Patekari is the product of IMCC's IGNOU Study Center. And it's my pleasure to announce that he has completed BLIS and MLIS from the IGNOU Study Center of IMCC only. Basically, he is an engineer. He is a class 1 officer working in the central government's railway department. Over to you, Patekari. And he is pursuing currently PhD in library and information science. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, all the members here. I'm thankful to Dr. Meenal Oak that she has conducted such an excellent learning opportunity to all the library and information science professionals. Thank you very much, Meenal ma'am. Because of Meenal ma'am, we came to know such a global scenario, what is happening around the world, and from London to USA to Bangladesh to entire world, we able to listen the galaxy of the resource person, which only because of Dr. Meenal Oak, they spared their valuable time and agreed to enrich our knowledge. So I'm very much thankful to Dr. Meenal Oak, the IMCC committee, who has organized such a nice and excellent session, which have really helpful to all the library and information science professionals. And really, because of this is possible because of only Dr. Meenal Oak, who has collected all the experts throughout the globe. So this is very useful sessions, and we have attended it, and a lot of notes we have been taken, and definitely it will be useful to all the library professionals throughout the India and the world, and will be definitely looking forward to further such sessions, and offline also will be very much happy to attend these sessions offline, so that we can have interactions with all the experts. And thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Patekari sir. Actually, whenever we are getting such promotive words from especially our students, we are always getting a boost to work more focusedly and efficiently. Actually, it's possible entirely due to the support of Maharashtra Education Society, our esteemed director, Dr. Santosh Deshpande sir, and as well as the entire advisory body. Because of their strong support, it's possible for me to jump here and there consistently. So thank you so much for being there with me. Now the next feedback interested member is Dr. Baban Chavan. Chavan sir, are you there?
I'm there.
Yes.
I think he's there.
Go ahead, please.
Shall I give my feedback?
Yes, actually Chavan sir is the librarian at Sangamner district, and he also won the Best Librarian Award from the rural area this year. So over to you, Chavan sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to all of you. I am the librarian from Sangamner College, Sangamner. It was very nice to be a part of this 1 week virtual international development program. organized by IMCC Pune for library professionals across the globe. I am very much delighted and benefited from the brainstorming and thought-provoking inputs from the eminent research person like Dr. Seema, Dr. Jay, Dr. Sri, Dr. Ashish, Dr. Shantanu, Dr. Nabi, Dr. Athole, and Dr. Mitul on various changing aspects of libraries due to the pandemic situation across the globe. The aspect discussed during these sessions were global collaboration for spatial libraries, the geo experience on digital robust, scholarly communication, marketing libraries, and detailed National Education Policy 2020, knowledge, attitude, and practices, and many more aspects were discussed during this session. I think these sessions were really useful and added much more to face futurist challenges. Thank you very much for organizing such a wonderful session to Dr. Minal for LIS professional to enrich their ideas and exchange the recent thoughts in the domain of LIS knowledge. Also due to Dr. Deshpande, who made possible this event to LIS professional and experts, Dr. Patil, Dr. Devate, and others who gave a fruitful input during the sessions. I congratulate Dr. Minal for a successful event she organized for a week. I also wish that she will organize such sessions henceforth. And thank you to all of you for such a wonderful opportunity given to attend such a event. Thank you so much. Over to Dr. Minal.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sawan, for being there with us, for your valuable feedback and showing interest in giving your feedback. The next, only one I'll take, Dheeraj. Dheeraj, are you there? Dheeraj Sogle?
Yes.
Are you there?
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, please.
Good morning, all of you, respected sir and madam. Actually, what is library science and how to render better services in this ICT era that I learned from MES science courses and sessions. Right now, I am the alumni of MES IMCC of PG Liman course. This virtual international program is like a international tour for us. We have visited many countries through this virtual program, and thank you for taking this initiative. After joining IMCC, I achieved many successful parts of my life. I can proudly say, for me, IMCC is synonymous word of achievement. So this virtual program will be useful to us. And thank you, madam. Thank you, Deshpande sir, and thank you, Daipati sir and Patil sir and the entire team for taking this initiative. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dheeraj, for your buzzword. That IMCC is a step for the
madam,
achievement.
Sorry for disturbance and.
That's okay. That's okay. That's perfectly all right. It shows you are eager to give the feedback. Whatever you said, we are really we have enjoyed that, and it's really the basis of our program to reach each and every corner in the world, and to reach the unreached section by using the ICT effectively. So that's what is the motto of this program. Now, without wasting any further time, let me invite first Dr. Daibate sir to say a few words about this program. Over to you, Dr. Daibate.
Thank you, Minal. It's a great appreciation for conducting such courses from Dr. Deshpande sir. His wholehearted support to our profession is excellent, and that's why we can proceed ahead. And you are no doubt you're working on his footprint. So definitely the courses, whatever I understand that since past 6-7 years, you organize so many courses and online webinars, and that is really a credit for you. And not this is credit for the institute, but this is good for the professionals like junior most who are welcoming into the profession, and they are getting all the ideas, especially the lectures during these 4 days, whatever lectures we have taken, they were so excellent and covering the full professional activities like fourth industrial revolution, what are the new activities we have to perform and all these things. So similarly, Ganguly's lecture was very excellent. He has given more practical oriented information services, what we can support to give. Of course, those who are coming from the special library sectors like Ganguly and Nabi and all these persons, they have developed so much personalized vision on this occasion, and they have shared their views, and these views are very excellent, and this we can just adapt them for the professional enrichment into this section. So it's a really good, and I accept the suggestion of offline conducting courses by Dr. Deshpande. He is very eager to do that. And he is always supporting new activities. That is very good. From the management is too much, and that's why we can achieve many things. Thank you, both of you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Over to you now. I invite Dr. Patil, sir, to say a few words in 2-3 minutes. Karkar sir already arrived. Kasate sir also already arrived. And over to you, sir.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Minal.
And I first of all, sorry to interrupt, I welcome Professor Dr. Karkar sir and Professor Dr. Shailesh Kasande sir to join this program. And over to you, Dr. Patil sir, so that we can proceed for the panel discussion.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Minal. So organizing any international program in the institute, it's not so easy task. So it has to be prepared few months before, and we have to contact all the people who are delivering the lectures, and they are speaking in the conferences. So this management technique, so this management technique is completely adopted by Dr. Minal, and he has organized this conference very well. So this 5 days program was excellent organized. It was timely started program every day, and the resource person who have been invited to deliver the talk, they are internationally expertise in our library and information science profession. So their lectures and topics was excellent, and whatever they have delivered, so our library professional has to adopt whatever they said in our library, so that our conference will be then successful when we adopt this technology in our library. We know that our national education policy recently 2020 has been now implementing by the central government as well as state government. So this policy lecture delivered by Dr. Subhash Athole sir, excellent lecture he has delivered, and he has pointed out all the facets which are related to the national education policy, and particularly the role of library professional, how to develop our library, how to develop the collection, etc. It was a very nice, excellent program. Overall, the conference is very well planned, and professionals are experts in library and information science. And I say this program is very successful program. And I congratulate all the team of Dr. Minal, and particularly Deshpande sir, who has been permitted to organize such a conference to Dr. Minal. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I heartily thank you all for the part of valedictory session. Now we are moving towards the last session of this program, which is a panel discussion, and which is which has become a point of attraction for all the candidates because of its theme and because of the panel members and the chairperson joining this program. And of course, this program of panel discussion we are conducting under the Virtual International Development Program, VIDP, which is organized for 5 days by the Maharashtra Education Society's Institute of Management and Career Courses. So I am Professor Dr. Minalo. Welcome you all for this panel discussion. IMCC, being a premier management institute, is conducting MBA and MCA programs since 1983 under the umbrella of Maharashtra Education Society. Maharashtra Education Society is an age-old society established by the great freedom fighter, Adya Krantikarak Vasudev Balwant Phadke, Indapurkar and Bhave to cultivate the grassroots education. Now, pulling the same thread ahead, at present, MES is conducting education for more than 70 educational branches across the India, and from KG to PG and research, and focusing on the various aspects of education. With these words, let us start with the panel discussion first. First, I invite Professor Dr. Santosh Deshpande sir to give his welcome speech. Professor Dr. Deshpande, over to you for the formal welcome of the chairperson and the panel members. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Good morning, all. Today's panel discussion, our theme is Library and Information Resource Center, present and future. Today we have the great person in this panel discussion, Parag Kalkar sir, respected Parag Kalkar sir, Dean of Faculty of Commerce and Management, Savitribai Phule University. There are number of panel members also. Parag Kalkar sir is a chairperson of this panel discussion. Minal madam will introduce all the panel members definitely. There are some panel members also present with us. The Professor Shailesh Kasande sir, Dr. Dahibate sir, Dr. S.K. Patil sir, Mr. Kishore Ingle sir from TCS Pune. I take this opportunity to welcome you all, as well as all the delegates, those who are participating around the world. Last 5 days, there are a lot of themes has been discussed, a lot of input was given by the experts, and really we are fortunate that because of the Meenal Oak madam and Patil sir and Dahibate sir, we got a lot of expert people, those who are working in library science, and we get the good insight about it. We know that last 2 years we are facing this pandemic. We are coming out of that, and last 2 years everything is online. Our teaching has been online, where we are meeting online, our examination is online, everything is online. We are using the technology in different areas of our life. Actually, I like to mention this. Within 1 or 2 months, as the pandemic started, Meenalok madam has converted all our library into the online library. All the activities last 2 years, we are really conducting, everything is conducting online because of the Meenalok madam expert efforts and all. Really, this panel discussion will give the different insights of the library science. I know that because all the panelists, chairman, everyone is an expert in that area. I'm technological person. I'm working in that area. So I like to put some points related to the panel discussion. Now, because technology is changing now, can we use this technology in the library science? You are the experts, people. You can guide us about in this area. There are one very the buzzword nowadays people are using the big data. Can we implement this big data concept in this library science for personalized user experience? Because now the people are sitting at the home, they have everything online, they have everything. The Google Baba is providing everything to you. Now it's time to provide the personalized information to the people at home or sitting at any places. Can it possible that? Can we implement the big data concept in library science? One more big word nowadays, people are talking about artificial intelligence. Can we utilize this artificial intelligence in library science so the people can be connected very well to us? And can I provide all the services, the effective services to the people, or ability to understand the different patterns of the users of the library? Based on that, can I change my library services using this artificial intelligence? One more big word nowadays people are using is backchain technology. Can we implement this backchain technology? One of the very important aspect is decentralization of data. Based on keeping the records of pseudo digital transition. Can we implement this in this library era? There are a lot of Internet of Thing is there. One more the interesting word nowadays people are using is library bookmark application. Can we design library bookmark application and provide to the user so they can sit at the place and they can use this whole world library, not only the one library, they can use the whole world library. User focus interface, can we design some application which are user focused? Because suppose I'm interested in artificial intelligence, I'm interested in research in a particular networking. Can I get all the information through the library? Can I design this type of application in this augmented reality? Can we implement this concept also? There's one more very interesting point is actually I'm really interested in this is digital interface for printed books. A lot of printed books are available, whole words. Actually, if you just look at the Abasab Garwari library and the GCC library, there's a lot of printed work. The material is available. Even Pune University library also, the lot of printed material available. Can we provide this material to the whole words using digital interface? Is it possible that these are the areas actually we are interested to understand through this panel discussion, through these seminars and all that? One more is driverless car is now the concept is there. Can we provide the information related of this type of implementation? How we can implement, how we can, because there are a lot of employments are coming in these areas. Can we provide, the library can provide some information, some guidance to the student so they can develop themselves for employability point of view also. One more concept I am really interested in this also, the drone. Can I apply the drones to provide the books into the people, those who are at home? All the library services can be provided through the drone. Is it possible? I think these are some of the areas we are actually looking forward. We require some information from you, the panelists or the experts. Once again, welcome you all delegates, the panelists, the chairman, and all the people for this panel discussion. Thank you very much. You've given a time to us. Because of you people, we can get some. I already requested Meenal Madam to publish one white paper after this. So this white paper can give some guidelines to the librarians, to the institutes of working in the next 10 to 20 years, I think. So thank you very much. Meenal Madam, you have given a chance to me to welcome all these dignitaries. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Santosh Deshpande, sir, for your formal welcome and also for a variety of innovative ideas you projected right now. So that will be a further guideline and really required to brainstorm on that. So thank you so much for that. And moving ahead towards the further program. First, let me heartily welcome Professor Dr. Parag Kalkar, Dean of the Commerce and Management at SPPU once again for accepting our invitation. Actually, this panel discussion program we planned when I was on the university campus for the prize distribution ceremony. And that time, Kalkar sir, I was discussing with Kalkar sir, so he was suggesting there is a need to chalk out such a program to have the brainstorm regarding the libraries development and what will be the further improvemental guidelines or what are the milestones of the development henceforth. So the critical situations, whatever we have seen as far as the pandemic and post-pandemic areas right now we are facing. So we are witnessing a huge impact of the ICT and even before that of the pandemic on our lives. And definitely education world is not exceptional for that. We all are witnessing that impact. Similarly, a huge impact on the libraries also, it was there, it is there. And it has changed the nature of delivery of library services. It has changed the way of storage of library material. And now there is no any option than to work on virtual background. Earlier it was the case. Right now it is a mix accessibility we are providing offline as well as online. We are trying to cope up with the changes, and of course in this regard situational leadership will be useful definitely. So what we can do in this regard, so that time we brainstorm and we plan this session under the virtual international development program. So I'm very happy that it's possible for us to organize in this program for this panel discussion. So once again, welcome Professor Dr. Parag Kalkar. Actually, he wrote on his LinkedIn one line he wrote, and that was very catchy, that successful people create pathways for others to follow. So he's a born leader, I should say. And variety of his achievements I was going through. So earlier he worked with the Sinhagad Institute of Management at Vadgaon campus as a professor and director from 2015. He is also having the experience of Deputy Registrar of Academics as far as Sinhagad Technical Education Society is concerned. And he was also the Senate member of University of Pune from 2005 to 15 for last 10 years. And really I am happy and interact with you, Kalkar sir, on this topic. The next, I am interested in introducing the panel members of today's panel discussion. The first member is Professor Dr. Shailesh Kasande, the another dynamic name in the field of management. Professor Dr. Shailesh Kasande is a administrative leader, I should say. He is having more than 25 years of rich administrative experience. He is expert at driving organizations' missions or even establishment and growth of the organizations, pioneered design and delivery of innovative academic programs. He conducted more than 200 FDPs on the various aspects for the faculty members. Actually, I know Professor Dr. Shailesh Kasande since 30 years when he used to came at IMCC. So many times we discuss on the various library aspects and libraries growth. And he also is a keen observer of the libraries and a voracious reader. So I welcome again Professor Dr. Shailesh Kasande for accepting our invitation. So really we are also interested to know from you what is the future and present as far as your perception regarding the library services is concerned. The third panel member I would like to introduce is former professor and university librarian Dr. S.K. Patil sir from Savitribai Phule Pune University. Sir is having a huge administrative experience as far as managing the university libraries is concerned. He was also the head of the Department of Libraries and Information Science at SPPU only. Sir's biodata is so vast, only I'll go through the major achievements. He was the responsible member for application of RFID and digital library along with the Internet Laboratory at Jaikar Library. He conducted a variety of refresher programs for the LIS professionals across the Maharashtra state. He is having variety of publications as such. So I welcome again Professor Dr. S.K. Patil for this panel discussion, and thank you for accepting the invitation. The next panel member I would like to introduce is Dr. N.B. Dahibhate. He is again our esteemed advisory member of this program. Also, he is the contributory teacher for the PGD Liman, which is the autonomous program of IMCC for the library professional. He was the principal technical officer at National Chemical Laboratory. He is very keen and interested and having strong experience about the patent section in the National Chemical Laboratory. He has delivered so many keynote addresses and also was the chairman for so many conferences. He is having hands-on on CDS ISIS. So right from CDS ISIS, he is involved in the ICT application in the libraries. So as far as the ideas introduced by Dr. Santosh Deshpande, we will definitely have interaction with Dr. N.B. Dahibate regarding that. So we are interested, and I really welcome you, Dr. N.B. Dahibate sir, for accepting our invitation. The next panel member I would like to introduce is Dr. Subhash Athawale sir. Dr. Subhash Athawale sir, actually I should introduce him, especially a librarian leading a teachers association. So that's what is a caliber and capacity of a librarian, what we can do for others, for the academicians. Dr. Subhash Athawale, he has completed his PhD and he is the active member of Mukta since last so many years. And as far as the social reforms and services are concerned, he is very much aggressive and keen towards the benefit of the academic fraternity. Again, his biodata is also very vast. He has presented so many papers at a variety of conferences at the national level. He was the elected member of Mumbai University Senate from the Faculty of Arts. He got the Best Teacher Award, Best Librarian Award in last year only. He is the member board of studies of LIS at SNDT Women's University. So I welcome you, Dr. Subhash, for accepting our invitation and joining this panel discussion. The last member for the panel discussion, and which is very, very crucial for us, is Mr. Kishore Ramdas Ingle, who is the corporate librarian from Tata Consultancy Services. Actually, including Kishore is the idea behind introducing Kishore is that only that we should have the corporate library member in this panel discussion because of the multiple responsibilities Kishore is carrying on his shoulders very successfully. And really it is fascinating to know his work, whatever work he is doing, he has done for TCS. It just marvelous. Kishore currently heading TCS Pune as well as Nagpur Information Resource Center. He is the business lead for the security of component engineering group for TCS. Actually, one interesting achievement of Kishore I would like to highlight is he is having unique experience of setting up Hikari Academy, which is a joint venture of TCS Japan and Mitsubishi Corporation at Pune. So if we can think what we can do to align with the organizational objective, I think Kishore is a live example of that. So I welcome you, Kishore Ingle, sir, for accepting our invitation and being here with us. Now with this introduction, I request Professor Dr. Parag Kalkar to chair the session and please give the introductory remarks. Over to you, Parag, sir.
Thank you, madam, for your kind introduction. And I'm very thankful to you as since pandemic that I was thinking about when all students have gone back to the home website and Google, students rarely come and visit the library in physical mode. And this 2 years has revamped all these things, and we have to rethink about what can be the future of the library. So when you are awarded as the best librarian award from Savitribai Phule Pune University, and that was the thought process that we should initiate and all institutions under the umbrella of Savitribai Phule University and outside university, as you are representing many association and organization in the library science and information science. So I'm thankful to IMCC, the director of the institute, Dr. Santosh Deshpande, the panelists who have going to share their thought process today. The ideology is we have to change as we have gone from physical mode to online mode, and a lot of new technologies are coming. As recently, we have seen that a lot of things are changing on hybrid mode. There are physical and there are digital mode also. We know that the institutions who are running under the AICTE purview, every year for every program, they are insisting that minimum 500 books should be purchased. And practically, we know that whatever book we have in existing storage in our library, they are not being used by the students. Because students normally use a lot of shortcuts when they search on Google and get some PDF downloaded for temporary use in examination. Most of the teacher also use the ready-made material which is available pertaining to the complete book and finding out the relevant material which is required for them in the teaching learning process. This change, the existing library needs a lot of space, a lot of infrastructure is there. I know there are some beautiful libraries in the world where I think all researchers, all students go and spend their time and learn a lot of things. A lot of things can happen in the library, and librarian can play a very major role in supporting researcher, student, interesting people in finding out the relevant material. When I have done my faculty training program in IIM Ahmedabad, I know that the librarian was very supportive and he has helped us because we were not aware which kind of reading should be there. So he used to talk with us whenever we were in a library, and he used to tell us that this is a book I think you should refer for research methodology. This is a book you should refer. This is a autobiography you must read as you're a management teacher. And he was so supportive. So within a span of that 4 months, I think he has given us or suggested me at least 50 plus books to go through. And that has really helped me to get an insight into all this process and the importance of library. Otherwise, what is a normal student perception? Library is only maintaining the books which are required, I think, by the law or by the Savitribai Phule Pune University or a university in case, and just issuing the books and getting books them back or charging some fine. Or then I have some supportive work that issuing mark sheet, and then some other supportive work is played by the librarian. But recently, I think every institute has started when they have an orientation program or induction program. A librarian used to conduct 1.5 hour session or more than that, and then practical physical visits to library for explaining students what kind of resources is available in the library. But as we are aware that, as Dr. Deshpande sir was referring to, that how we can bring that AI, ML, and all this digitalization. So can we take the existing library partly on a digital mode where you have a lot of digital resources which are available? But I think the researcher of the today, they want something which is ready-made. Google has given that disadvantage to all of us because we get the pinpointed material which is available. So can similar thing is possible when you are using the library? How we can encourage, because new education policy, now we are coming to basic skills. The skills are required rather than the degree is required. So focus was degree, now degree we want skills. For that skills, I think, and the new education policy also promote the universities which are going to be a research-based universities. They are going to promote a research-based teaching. For that, I think the teacher should come back to the library, and we have to have so many activities which can be run under the umbrella of the library. Teaching, learning, general public also. So we all have to think that what is the existing model of the library, where everybody is complaining that because huge amount, the space is also very large space, 3,000 square foot to 10,000 square foot library is there. In rural colleges, there are separate building for the library. There are a lot of resources that there, if they are not utilized, because over the period of time, I think books become obsolete. Some books become obsolete because the new version comes. Otherwise, I think their shelf life gets reduced because the paper which is used, I think over a period of time becomes yellow, and so other things are there. So rather than investing in just buying new books, I think how we can see that these books can be used by the student or the people at large. I think we have, if we consider the population of various cities or various towns, I think And then if you can involve or give the access to people outside your college, I think the library can be used in much better way. So we all have to see that when we are going on the digital mode, how we can use the artificial intelligence in making library accessible to any person. So IMCC library can be accessed by anybody in the world. Can we make some kind of app where a student sitting in his home or sitting anywhere can have access to the library, can go through the books, can browse through some information which is available in the library. So I think we have to come out of that physical mode in little bit more better way and see that can we reach to the people who this resource use. I know that there is very good resources are already available in every library, which is known to library. How can we reach to the right people? Want that a lot of patents come out, a lot of research should come out as per the India as a country. Quality research I'm talking about, not quantity research, but where, how we can use this all innovative technology. So this thought process that what should be the future of library. Presently, we know that, and I'm very happy that the librarians their extensive efforts in not completing the routine matters as per the librarian who is expected for any institution, but they're going beyond their purview and trying to see that the library information science becomes supportive for all researchers and all changes which are happening around in the education sector. So I think this panel discussion will definitely give an insight to all of us to understand that, and then we'll see that how we can take this concept, at least have a deliberation, at least have a thought, because I know that no institute is going to invest 500 books per program per year because it's a huge investment. Again, if they are ready to investment, having material and having budget also, the space is also a problem. You can't keep the books because we have to increase the space which is available. And at the end of the day, the utility report says that how many students, how many faculty visit. If you go to the institute and sincerely see that the footfall of library needs to be improved in a drastical way. So can we have some kind of curriculum or some kind of 2-credit course compulsory, like we have ethics course? Can we make this library information science course compulsory of 2-credit course in every program, so that every student needs to spend some hours, at least 30 hours in the library? So it definitely gives student insight to read, because reading habit, literature and all these things, we want to make every student jack of all arts and master in one. If it is engineering student, science student, he must know humanities also. And I think your library is a versatile thing where he can go and learn, read lot of things. We know on the virtual mode, yesterday I have written on my status that all your personality has become 6 inches personality because of the digital mode. So how tall, how smart, how impressive your personality is, everybody has to be fit in that 6 inches window on online mode, where the impression doesn't get created the way it's supposed to get created. So I think librarian science people should come out and suggest that there can be few online courses which can be made available. People can come to the library and they can complete the course, even for the common people also, without keeping any basic eligibility. How to use the library resources for thought process, how to use library resources for research purpose. I think these small courses, if we can make the habit to the student, additional credit or compulsory credit to all our graduate programs, definitely we'll see that these resources are gold mines. But that will definitely, whenever that will be used, I think it will create a good impact among the student, good thought process among the student. So I think whatever outcome is coming out of this 5 days deliberations, I think if you can put on black and white paper and through the board of studies and through the faculty, I think if you can forward to the university authorities, will definitely like to take it ahead to see that the resources which are abundantly available through library librarians or what is library professionals. I would like to use the word professional because they are professionally handling libraries and not managing libraries, but they are ensuring that this library knowledge network reaches and helps the student to make his success in his career and life. So here I will take a pause and I would like to request my first panel member, as suggested by the organizer, each panel member will speak on the theme approximately for 7-8 minutes. Out of that, I think the present will be covered in 4 minutes and the future of library in 4 minutes. So first I would like to request Dr. Shailesh Kasande sir to express his thoughts on the theme. Kasande sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kalkar. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so at the outset, let me thank Dr. Santosh Deshpande, Director IMCC, Dr. Meenal Oak, our good professional friend and a leading librarian, and all the senior members over here, Dr. Dahibate, Dr. Suresh Patil, Dr. Subhash, and Mr. Kishore. It is a wonderful idea to have such a symposium and brainstorm on the future. More interestingly, the breadth or the cross-section of the participants and the resource person is what makes this particular thing very, very unique. Most professions, whether it is the industry, the academia, within the academia, the faculty, the librarians, we all are very much used to talking in an echo chamber. That is, we talk to our own community. That is the community of, say, faculty, or community of only librarians, or community of only academicians. But I think it is interesting and it is imperative that we talk across the silos to the entire wider ecosystem. And that is, I believe, one of the uniqueness of this particular program that we have organized over here. I'll just quickly share my screen, and let me say that I'm trying to present my thoughts from the vantage of a academic institution leader as well as a faculty member. Some of the things that I may be saying over here will obviously be overlapping across all the panel members, and some of these practices may be there in certain libraries, but I am trying to generalize to the wider ecosystem, and I am trying to put forth some opinion about how best maybe we can make a contribution as far as the librarians are concerned. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, just a minute. Yeah. So we're talking of libraries and information centers, the present and future. I'm not very sure how much I'm going to speak about the present, but based on the understanding or my understanding of what present libraries and information centers are and the library professionals are, I would try and make a guess about what possibly where we are heading into the future, or where possibly we should head into the future. We have been talking a lot about the pandemic, but I think the pandemic was only a trigger point for change. A lot of change was already happening all around us. And we are today in an era where possibly at the end of this program, or at the end of this conference or symposium, and even wider context, we have more questions than answers. And my presentation also will raise a lot of questions for us collectively to address, rather than preaching about some answers. So I think we all are aware that we are looking where we say change is the only constant, or we use acronyms like VUCA, which is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So we are living in interesting times. We are living in challenging times. We are living in times where there are opportunities for us, but then fundamentally we are living in a time where we have to reinvent to stay relevant. And this reinvention or staying relevant is not merely because of the digital change, but there is a lot of change all around. So even we talk of Gen Z or millennial generation, we need to understand that 22% of this century has already passed away, right? So we are in 2022, or 21% or 2/5, 20% has already passed. So I was wondering what should be the prism, what should be the perspective. Can we have a framework through which we can look at library profession and the librarians and their contribution in the wider academic ecosystem. So I thought that these could be the various ways in which one can look at what libraries can do or librarians can do. So one could look at the national agenda, one could look at how the wider global humanity has kind of evolved to a knowledge economy. One can look from an academic perspective and look at a 21st century skills lens. People will obviously look at being in academics, the new education policy perspective, and then the traditional stakeholder quality and resource perspectives. So Prime Minister Modi, Honorable Prime Minister Modi talks of India being a Vishwa Guru. Okay, and we want to move beyond equity and access to leadership and innovation. So what's the role of librarians in this movement, where we talk of not only providing equity or access, or not only providing information? So as Dr. Deshpande said, Google provides all the information. But if we want to evolve to be leaders, and if we want to master innovation, then can librarians play a role in changing this mindset from only information transfer through books to maybe more innovative approaches? Then we are talking of multilingual approach, or respecting the local languages in the new education policy. These are some aspects of the national agenda in as far as academics is concerned. So I think librarians have a role in transforming, translating this knowledge from the existing languages, that is predominantly English to the multilingual approach, and then how we can provide this particular knowledge reserve or knowledge resource or treasure in this particular multiple languages. And that is where the marriage or the blend with technology, was Dr. Deshpande was mentioning, might play an important role. So if we want to become a Vishwa Guru, then we have to move beyond only mere lower level thinking skills in terms of Bloom's taxonomy, and we have to create innovators and thought leaders. So I think librarians have a role to play over there. The nation as such is committed to attainment of the Sustainable Development Goal 4. And we talk of inclusive, equitable, quality education. So each of these terms, I think one of the workshops can be organized simply to find out how could I make education more inclusive. So we often keep on talking about, are there facilities for Divyang? Are there, say, audio facilities and various others? Say, can I talk of a multilingual website, or can I increase the font size? And those things are there. But then, can I make my library more inclusive for various sections of the society, various kinds of learners? We talk of weak learner, we talk of bright learner. So can I make the library resource availability and the usage more inclusive? How can I look at promoting lifelong learning? So what is the role of librarian in promoting lifelong learning? We are struggling to get readers and faculty members into the library because reading habit by itself has gone down, and there is a lot of digital on demand, open source and other content. But then how can I imbibe this thirst for knowledge, or how can I look at supporting those who are wanting to pursue lifelong learning opportunities? So can I reach out to alumni, or can I create a wider ecosystem? So in NBA or NAC or various other accreditations, we talk of contribution to local community. So can librarians think of how can I make a contribution to local community, leveraging the knowledge resource that I am sitting upon, or maybe I am a custodian of, or I am a leader of? So can that initiative then translate to lifelong learning opportunities for the learners who are informal learners or the local community around me? As I said, COVID was only the trigger. I believe economy and society has evolved from this entire over the entire decades, from pre-industrial today to, we use various words: knowledge economy, experience economy, sharing economy, innovation economy, right? So Dr. Deshpande was mentioning about various AI tools. So in the experience economy, or in the knowledge or the innovation economy, how can I utilize the library resources to give a unique experience? So we talk of recommendation engines on Google or Amazon, or we talk of predictive analytics over there. So can I put some AI on this to give the unique experience to the borrower, to the user, to the learner. We talked of sharing economy. So can I create a unique network? There are networks like Delnet and so on, but then I think we as a fraternity also need to represent to the regulators about how effective sharing of resources. So there is, although some bit of thrust on that, but I believe that is more as a checkbox, as a tick mark, that is not widely adopted. So sharing of the resources and various other things. Information is abundantly available. So knowing certain theory or certain formula or certain basics no longer gives an edge to any individual, any company, or to a society as such. So knowledge conversion to wealth, private wealth, social wealth, human wealth is the focus all over the globe, and those are the nations which are going to rise. So then what could be the role of librarians in being a catalyst for usage of the knowledge resources that they are having, so that wealth can be created out of it? So maybe there is an innovation and incubation cell in the institute or the college or the university. And generally, these cells function in silos. So can there be a brainstorming on what could be the role of librarians in promoting innovative mindset amongst the students and even in the faculty members? So can the librarian itself lead by innovative examples of the usage? So I think this could be one prism or perspective in which we can look at this. We talk of 21st century skills a lot. That's the focus. So the evolution from an I shape to a T shape to a M shaped and a Z shaped skill set is already there. And that is encapsulated very well in the 21st century skills. So we also talk of different kind of diverse learners that we get. So I think librarians have a role in establishing or supporting each of these 21st century skill sets, and a lot of activities or events or some days celebrations we often do. So those can be utilized to look at the value system. At the same time, maybe libraries can organize certain activities around each of these skill sets per se, and then they can lead this change or champion some change in terms of developing 21st century skills, or even partner with the faculty members in each of the skill development over here. So they can support and act as a catalyst in this particular aspect. NEP, I think a lot will be discussed. It talks of integration and synergy in terms of exit routes, credit transfer, learner mobility, lifelong self-learning, etc., etc. So I think librarians will have a lot of roles in this. And one of the things is integrate far more tightly with academia, that is the line function in terms of teaching, learning, and assessment. So rather than providing only the resources whenever the students or the faculty come over there, I think librarians need to be more assertive and aggressive in pushing the resources also to the learners initially. So integration of the library resources in the entire teaching, learning, assessment, and evaluation processes. Can librarians kind of have a more equitable seat at the discussion over there in terms of the academic processes? How can they actually take this ahead? I think that could be one issue that we can ponder upon. NEP has a lot of thrust on Indian knowledge systems, national integration in terms of the social fabric as well as cultural preservation. So I think can librarians partner across domains to contribute and create something new in Indian knowledge system? So I was just reading some book which is related to Nyaya Samstha or something which is related to what Shiva told to one of the rishis. And I realized that those 16 principles are nothing but a lot of principles that we teach in our research methodology. Now, can we marry these two? So can librarians take the lead in contributing or translating some kind of knowledge in terms of linking it back to Indian knowledge systems? I think there is a case for such partnership with librarians and faculty members. A role change is happening of the faculty and entire academia from not only a mere dispenser of content to maybe challenging the learners to think critically and various other skill sets over here. So we need to build vibrant community of scholars and peers. And one such community right now we are witnessing online. So I think librarians can take a lead in building such communities of practice or such communities of scholars and peers, which will lead to more brainstorming and so on. The traditional perspectives are obviously there in terms of stakeholders. Who are the users? What are their demands? Why are they demanding such and such things? Or what are the changes and how can I meet their demands? So how can I increase the stakeholder engagement? One area which I think I am not sure whether librarians are working there, maybe of course some which I am not aware, but then can we take some trend line research in library usage, library resource usage, because we have data batch after batch, year after year across various students, across disciplines. So can certain librarians and academicians and research centers join hand to conduct some trend line longitudinal research on learning habits, reading habits, resource utilization, and so on? I think that would add a lot of value to policymakers and regulators as well. Many librarians often have a perspective of guarding the resource for the want of it getting maybe misused. But I think there is a scope, there is an opportunity for improvement in developing an internal customer perspective amongst the librarians. So who are my internal customers? Are they the faculty? Are they the students, researchers, research scholars, research guides? And how can I be a service provider to these users? Can I benchmark myself with the best of the libraries in the class, and can I measure myself? So a quality perspective can also be used to look at library processes, policies, procedures, and the role of the librarian. Then Dr. Kalkar and others were hinting at what kind of books we add every year and what's the reading habits. So an entire resource perspective can be utilized in terms of how do I plan for library resources, be that say 2000 square feet of area or some IT systems or maybe 500 volumes and so on. Okay, how do I partner with academia to identify and maybe even engage and educate them to identify the right resources? How do I ensure that right resource allocation is done? How do I monitor resource utilization, which is generally usage rates and so on, and then the maintenance and monitoring? So can there be a policy framework? Can there be a calendar? Can there be some metrics that are put around all these stages of resource planning to resource utilization? Be the change you want to be. We have heard this sentence many a times. So I think librarians can lead a lot of change. They can be a partner in bringing best practices in knowledge and other resource utilization. They can partner with policymakers like the directors, principals, the management. They can partner with users like research guides and faculty members. They can be a catalyst in transforming young teachers by providing them certain resources and certain services which are happening. But then can there be a focused agenda focused on young teachers or researchers? How can I make research proposals in a research center more effective? What could be the role of the librarian over there? Can the librarian be a thought leader in certain key initiatives? The focus of education has changed from KSA to ASK, that is knowledge, skills, and attitude, to attitude, skills, and knowledge. So organizing certain events like say reading on say biographies, or reading about say women leaders, or readings on say social personalities. So a lot of faculty talk about how do we shape values or attitudes. I think such events and such activities are going to shape the attitudes of the next generation learners. We talked of communities of practice. Librarians can create a lot of communities of practice in focused areas. More importantly, they can play a role in developing a culture of reading, research, appropriate documentation. Dr. Deshpande talked of artificial intelligence. I think librarians can utilize and leverage technology, go beyond providing static reports, which are backward looking, to providing insights and intelligence beyond the routine. So predictive analytics and forward looking suggestions about how to change the situation, rather than simply reporting how many books were unutilized and unissued and so on and so forth. Maybe the need is to move from a point of view which is more inward looking to outward to an outward in. I'll just conclude. I think I'm running short of time or overshooting. So maybe rather than meeting expectations, librarians should take the lead at times even to set expectations about what they expect from the various stakeholders and even the decision makers and policy makers. Very quickly, every area of walk of life is now data driven, and we want measurements. So analytics and KRAs and KPIs about the role of the librarian. What are the key result areas? What are the metrics that I use to know whether I am performing well and I am aligning with the higher levels of the organizational vision mission, and I am being effective, or am I being effective? Maybe some work can be done and can be published as a policy paper and also report to the higher authorities over here. Finally, I believe being a librarian is a great responsibility. A librarian is a guru, because a librarian in our system is equivalent to a teacher. So librarians also share a great responsibility, and they can lead and they can be a role model in bringing this change. So with these few thoughts, I think I should stop my presentation. A lot of things that I believe librarians can take it ahead and contribute to the ecosystem. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Karkar. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Shailesh, for, I think you have made a 360-degree approach to the role of librarian. And while concluding, I'll share a few of the thoughts which I have captured. Moving on, I'll request Dr. N.B. Dahibate, sir, to kindly share his thought process. Sir?
Yes, thank you, sir. It's a very good thing that we have received some feedback from the stalwarts like Dr. Kalkar sir, Dr. Deshpande sir, Dr. Kasande sir, and we visualize that what are the user expectations from the library or librarians both, because libraries can be managed by librarians. So it is one of the parts that we have to look into. Librarians are always accepting the changes and challenges. Whenever our technology changes, we have adapted that technology. We manage that technology to do it best for the user's perspective or user services. If we look into the scenario, from the beginning, we have transformed many times as per the technologies are changing. This is one way. But very well said, you people, that our expectations are like this. But in general, if we people, when we librarians reviewed that, we feel that first of all, we have to analyze the user perspective, user requirements, user need-based activities, and then work on our professional activities. So if we analyze these factors, what are the needs and expectations of user, that is the prime thing. And right now, in the present scenario and the future scenario, what is required is that user need 24/7 information delivery at their desktop. This is first thing they want. Then from active learning, they need active learning and research support from the library. They need proper appending to the professional things, what they are doing, as well as what they are studying. Apart from the curriculum status, they want additional reading material. Furthermore, they need Wi-Fi in the campus area so that they can use their instruments or tools, ICT tools, to just gather the information and analyze the information. Then they need user-centric services, one-to-one services, and all these things they are expecting from library. Then they need, this is my particular request, this is the thing, and they want information on that. Furthermore, they want access of the global information at their fingertip. Then whenever they want information, they should get information on a particular advanced services they want from the libraries, in spite of this traditional, our CAS, SDI, then many services we are giving in anticipation to the user. In spite of that, they need some specialized and user need-based services. That is what we are to do. Then on-demand, off-site and on-site usage of the libraries they are suggesting, and this point have been mentioned by Dr. Kasande sir also. Then they need internet access, powerful access to the internet, so that they can browse the internet and get the information, which is very needed. Of course, everybody says that Google is not working so well, but I think such open sources or open educational resources, they will give the basic elements for the thought processing. And after that, after getting some basic knowledge of the new elements, then we can search for the commercial data and commercial things. So these are the present scenarios of the users, and they want all the information, compiled information, analytical information together at one place. Now, if we see the challenges in the profession at the present level, is that information management. Now librarians, they are managing information right from acquisition, storage, and archive in digital form. If we see the changes, drastic changes are coming. Now librarians, they are converting whatever valuable printed material, they are converting into digital so that it can be used. And that is the best thing. But while converting all these things, we have to look into the IPR and copyright issues so that we cannot breach them and we cannot fall in that way. Then information access, as I told you, then emergence of technologies are coming, means fourth industrial revolution is full of new technologies and new gadgets that is coming into that, and everybody is expecting that we have to use. And slowly what happens, we are turning to that, we are accepting to that. We are looking into the new trends and professional trends in our field, and we are definitely working on that. But one thing is there, definitely we have to look into the emerging technologies. Then we have to change our information policies, rightly said by the stalwarts. That what happens, still we are finding the old policies, and that policies are not suiting into the digital way. Only stock verification and all these things, it will not be there, but it will be appended with the right of policies also. That is what it is important. So we have to drastically change our information and administrative and management policies. Then use of internet, search engines, open access, these we are very well using, including social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, then sharing of resources using web tools. We are doing all these things. Only thing is that awareness among the users should be developed. So what we are giving to the user, they should accept, and they should interact with the librarian or library professional so that they can give more and more services to them. Then staff management is also a present situation problem, because though staff scarcity is there, staff requirement is there, even staff training is required. And in NEP, they have given career development aspects are also discussed, CDP and all these things. Then modernization of libraries is going on slowly. See, traditional libraries, they change to the automated libraries, from automated libraries to electronic libraries, electronic to digital, digital to virtual. And now we can access the information, and that is why during the pandemic, we have served the community as well as the expertise community by giving information on their desktop. That is one. Then definitely everybody said that skill set should be updated. Yes, everybody accepted this. Professionals have also accepted this fact that our skill set should be updated regularly. When changes are occurring, skill set will also change, and we are accepting to that skill set. But it will have a slow transformation in spite of fast transformation as we've seen in the developed countries. Furthermore, one good thing has suggested that content management and content analysis for that purpose. Now we are working on that issue very well, and we are putting our OPACs open to the public so that they can get information what is available on the particular library. Union OPACs are also going to be compiled in the nearer future. Then publishers are reaching directly to the users. That link is coming out, and this will also creating little bit activities. But what happens? Librarians are also tracking the needs of the user. And like publisher, we are also reaching to them. Only thing is that right now these services are based on on-demand services. Whenever demands comes, librarians work on that issue, and that is delivered to the user. Then another thing is free access to information is also a challenge where we have to evaluate, we have to do. And now what librarians are doing, librarians are making bibliography or directory of the resources, what we can get commercial as well as open resources as well as free resources, and we try to reach to the users through that. And many librarians, what they have done, they have made this bibliography and pasted in the searching room so that user can search it through their links and get the information. Service point of view as well as the resource development, resource initiation and resource utility also. But here one thing we are doing now, and we have to do it, that we have to educate our users. By this orientation to the users, what will happen, whatever available in the library as well as over the globe, we can just explain to them, and furthermore information searching skills at both level, yes, librarians level as well as users level should be enhanced so that information retrieval will be precision made and that will be useful for them. So we people are working on that, and we are developing our own internal databases for the specialized material which can be used for the users, and that initiative we have been taken so far. Then information delivery to users is very important. Now what happens, we are providing abstracting services, indexing services, everything, but many times what happens, they need full text also. And nowadays, the scenario is also changing because of this consortia and all these things. And the information is changing, like per use. You have to pay, and the user information if you don't pay for that. And many times now, new aspects are coming into that, changing, and they are studying how best resources we can acquire for the users and how users will be benefited by our resource collection. That we are taking care, and we are taking the surveys, reviews, and understand user needs, and that user-based collection will be there, and information audit, knowledge audit, and all such type of thing, collection management audit, all such audit we are doing, conducting, and only the information nowadays from libraries, or we are visiting to the clearing houses, and we are fulfilling the needs of the user. Only thing is that the
Hello.
thing should come from the user libraries. What you can say? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Hello.
Sir.
Continue. Yes, sir. No. I'm just continuing. Some disturbance was there, so I stopped.
I thought that.
No. Then furthermore, another point is that we have to work on library services. Now, henceforth, libraries will work on the information technology, information management, working on management techniques, and best possible. So need different services like alert service, digest service, compilation service, then information repackaging services. All services they are working, and slowly we are working. All the databases we are searching, whatever databases are available, we are searching on getting the request, and after getting the request, the databases, numerous databases we are searching, removing the duplicate, and core list of literature is handed over to the researcher. And this is what research support services librarians are now going to provide. So we are just looking into the IPR activities also now. That is intellectual property, how we can build intellectual property, because maximum intellectual property is coming from the academic sector and research sector. How to protect them and how to reduce the plagiarism and all these things. These are very well taken care through the user orientation program and all these things. And we are providing now training to the staff at the lower level also, so that they can enhance their knowledge base and they can support the user needs. All such type of thing we are doing, and in the future what we have to do, if we in nut and shell we will look into that. Our future is very, very dynamic and very, very unstable also, because every change we have to look into the different changes. We have to shift our roles, definitely. What Dr. Kasande sir and Kalkar sir had said, that we have to provide a reader advisory service, content management service, then enhance the reading habits of the user, then we have to make some courses which can get information about library and they get awareness of the information resource. That is very good thing. But in point of this, I will suggest that, sir, there are many courses run by the NPTEL and SWAYAM, which we have open access, and on online learning courses are there, and librarians are attending that courses also. During this pandemic, we have seen that many librarians have attended the courses organized by NPTEL and SWAYAM and WIPO, and they have get trained into the IPR and different gadgets of the library advancement and all these things. Then collection will be in the future, mostly it will be digital. Even if scientific jargon, it is already coming mostly digital, because everybody is very happy with the digital, because digital literate people are there and digital resources are available in different disciplines, including humanities and social sciences and natural sciences also. Acquisition will be also digital, but only one thing is that we have to take care of the metadata compilation, so that any user can get any information using the searching this metadata activities. Then this one thing, all such type of things we will take care. Different management skills we are adapting, we are critically thinking, and we are proceeding ahead. But only thing is that we have to look into the different angle, and what are the librarians' role into this new area and working procedures. We have to see that we have to support to the professionals, professional trends like e-learning. We have to support the e-learning, freedom to access the information to user, then knowledge management and organization, so that user can access the information at their own level, and we have to disseminate full text backup material to them. Then we act as a service provider.
So can you conclude now?
Yes, sir, sure. Only 1 minute. I will just conclude it. Then we have to provide different outreach services. Then newer trends we have to accept, and definitely we are all professionals, not anybody. All professionals in the working in the library, they are going through it, going through all such type of things. But only one thing is that librarians have also some problems, because they are facing different challenges. First challenge is that revenue. Another is ICT infrastructure. If all such type of things will be taken care by the management also, then support from the librarians will be enormous to this system. So thank you for giving me a well chance for speaking out my views. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Daivate sir, for your elaborate thing. I think a lot of things are coming because of his experience and expertise in this field. So taking into consideration time, I request that all participants or panel members to kindly stick to the time, and now request Mr. Subhash Athavale sir to share his thought process.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman Parag Karande sir. Coming to the aspect of present and future, I think the earlier speakers, Karande sir and Kasande sir and Dr. Ibate sir have spoken a lot of things. I'll divide my topic into three, that is staff, resources and services. Basically, whatever was placed before by Dr. Shailesh in his very lucid presentation, I think all these responsibilities the librarians are ready to take up, and they are taking it. But if you look at the present situation, I'll tell you, sir, being running in an organization, the present situation is very bad in the university and the affiliated colleges. If you look at a University of Mumbai kind of a thing was not having librarian for last 13 years. So it is a very big time. So thinking of a library profession, thinking expectations and taking, too much that what library and librarians should do towards taking forward the knowledge. But the present part is very bad, because coming to the staff, that is no appointment of librarian. When I have taken out information under RTI from University of Mumbai, for example, out of 840 colleges, only 267 colleges have appointed librarians. So this is the situation. So I think talking about library, talking about services, talking about taking the databases, talking about reaching out, or talking about all future, like Honorable Director had said about AI, applying AI services and all. I think we should look into the basic need of the profession, that if colleges or the universities are not making it compulsory to appoint the librarian, I think it is going to be a very difficult task. On one side, it is said that library is the backbone of any institution. But on the other side, the treatment. For example, I have visited so many libraries. I'm very happy to share here that out of 840 colleges, not less than 500 plus colleges I have got opportunity to visit in Mumbai University area, and also in other universities. Whenever I go to some of the part of the country, I definitely go and visit the library of that particular area. So while visiting that, what I have observed, that stepmotherly treatment has been always given to the librarian, and that is only because what has been felt, though it has been very clearly said about the status of the librarian, that the status is been as a teacher, and Maharashtra University Act 94 and Maharashtra Public University Act 2016 both are dealing to it. Both have in their definition itself, they have stated that in the definition of teacher, they have included librarian, college librarian, university librarian, and now director knowledge resource center. But if you look at the ground situation, the librarians are not given that status. I could say that whatever information is being shared by librarian, there is nobody. Now, to come to very grassroots level, nowadays the teaching, because of this API system and all, everybody is concentrating on his or her development, and they are trying to reach, they are trying to accumulate the points. They are trying to take, though Dr. Daibati have spoken about the IPR and the plagiarism cases and all. But if you look at the ground level, it is not happening, sir. Because whatever material is coming, they are only coming with one intention, that I should publish my article in some very good journal, or some careless journals, or some I should publish a book which is having an ISBN number, and then I should get my API points. So that is the only intention. But nobody is going. I'll tell you, the situation is bad up to the level that the teacher fraternity are not even in a position to understand what is the difference between textbook and a reference book. So that is the kind of situation in which we are going. Though national education policy is saying a lot, and it is giving a lot of role to the librarian and library professionals, but the ground reality is that the librarians are not been taken into account. They are not considered. I have seen the teachers. I'm not generalizing my statement, but then there are teachers who used to go along with the a set of books while giving their lectures, and they used to tell to their students that, see, these are the books which are available in our library, and you should place your hands on it. You should spend some time in reading them. But nowadays, that culture has been changed from books to the ready-made material. Even our university system, our education system is changing from writing an elaborative answer to MCQs. And the survival of the fittest is though librarians community that in one college there is one single person, and the voice has been suppressed by all the fraternity around, and because of which it becomes very difficult for that single lone person to come and speak and give his importance. So I think if we are thinking about the changing the feature of the library and the library resource center, I think first of all we need to enhance the condition of the library staff. So many times it has been seen a library is being provided with one single person, that too a kind of attendant, and if that person is on leave, entire library remains closed. No services have been offered. So if this is the kind of the situation, though NEP is talking about, Daibate sir has expressed that CPD is there, that the development program for library staff has been suggested, or NEP is also talking about what staff should be provided to library to give effective services. But then at the other end, the services are not looked into. The question is asked by the principals and the management that you have 120 students in case of management, or you have some 500 or 600 students, and why you need the staff. So I think if we expect better services, good services from library and the librarian as a bundle of services which has been expressed already by Dr. Daibate sir, that what librarian can do. And really, if proper library services have been provided, it was also said that there should be a course. I think that is a welcome suggestion. Honorable Chairman has suggested that there should be a course, at least 30 hours, that students should come, they should sit in the library. And definitely that will be an good step. While we were into the Maharashtra Public University, making of Maharashtra Public University Act, when there were suggestions were invited, we have put forward the suggestion that if we want that our syllabus should be upgraded, it should be up to the mark, it should be meeting the requirement of the industry and the market, then we also should include one member as a librarian there. Because normally what happens is, when board of study meets, they decide the syllabus and they give some prescribed text, and the moment it comes in the form of syllabus, it is observed that the text which has been suggested in the by the board of study members, it is not available in the market. So I think if inclusion of the librarian in each and every board of study is definitely going to serve the purpose, because librarian is a person who will be able to provide what is happening latest in that particular subject. And accordingly, if that paper is circulated among all the honorable members of board of studies, I think that is going to help a lot to decide what is to be included and what should not be included. What is the demand? What is the requirement of the industry? What syllabus should be framed accordingly? What skill sets are required to be inserted into the syllabus? I think everything is possible if the inclusion and proper weightage has been given to the librarian. I have a lot to speak, but I know that we have limitation of time, and being running an organization and being practicing librarian, I know the difficulties which are being faced, placed on the surface while giving the services. So I think being honorable dean of the faculty, I think if you'll take all these things and giving status to the librarian, I think that is the basic. Though it has been given by act, but the person is alone, and so the teaching fraternity which is there is always trying to project that librarian is there, but he is of no use. And if as you have talked about the utility, I'm very interested in sharing with all of you that if librarian decides that he is a person who can give the utility, and he'll be able to show that what kind of material has been referred by a single individual teacher and single individual student also. Rightly in the NEP also, this kind of a process is been introduced, that proper utility should be given. So I think library and the librarian can do this paradigm shift, but it is required that that proper status has to be given to the librarian, and then only what present is there can be converted into very good future. And I think that will be very much useful from the academic point of view. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Subhashji. I think today's webinar or this 5 days program is also highlights the importance of librarians. And we are also being present because otherwise it's not only record keeping or just one part of this academic fraternity, but also it has a very important role to play. Going further, I request Mr. Kishore Ingle to kindly share his thought process with all of us.
Good afternoon,
Kishore
sir. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Parag sir, and then all respected dignitaries. Sorry, in between I was disconnected for some time. Let me share my screen also. So just tell me when it is visible to all of you people, sir. Okay. So while my presentation loaded on the mobile screen, let me just ask some questions and share my feedback about what eminent people have said it. When Professor Deshpande was talking, I felt as if my colleague has left the organization and he has joined the IMCC and he is talking about what we should be doing it there. So that is what that kind of feeling I had. Is my screen visible to you, sir? Can anyone just confirm it?
No,
not yet.
not.
Okay. 1 second.
Sir, no worry, you can share your thoughts because we are already running out of time.
No problem,
So I
sir.
request you to kindly share your thoughts.
Sir. Yes, sir, no problem. So I just wanted to ask some questions, to few points to ponder. Have we noticed, is there any bookshop which was closed on the ground that there is no business, so we are closing a bookshop? We have not seen it, at least I have not seen it in the last 3 decades. Rather, we have seen more bookshops are opening at the airport lounge also. Then similarly, reading habit, people have been saying reading habit is diminishing, but the hunger for information is increasing every time. So sources of information, its forms are changing every day. The default is digital. People are looking for digital information. And Gen Y and Z, they don't even read an ebook also completely. That is what I have observed because I deal with most of the people. My clientele is the average age is 27 in my office. Then preferred content size is maximum 8 to 10 pages if it is we are talking about the print material, and if you are talking about the videos, it should be small chunk of a pieces of a videos or audios, whatever. So anything which is beyond 15 minutes, you are not likely to use it or watch it on the whichever medium you have it there. So those are the things. So what is changing every day now? It's a form of information content is changing. I don't know how many of you have noticed last week the first page of our local newspaper, may it Lok Satta, Sakal or Mata, anything, or even I think English also. What was the front page? The first front page was having advertisement. Does anyone remember from Pune specifically? It was an advertisement about a YouTube. It was talking about, there was one photographer, lady, and what she has
Yeah,
been
Women's
doing
Day
during
it
the
was
pandemic.
displayed.
It wasn't for Women's Day, sir. Thereafter also it was. So what they were doing it, they were
Archana
promoting
Ranade.
Yes, sir. Archana Ranade, correct. So what is happening? Right, sir. So the news sources are coming in a different format, and we librarians are not able to capture or consider them as a news sources. Say, for example, business book summaries. Book summaries is an excellent source. So if someone comes and asks us, will you buy a database of a business book summaries? 90% of my fellow librarians will say, what we will do with this one? But yes, that is what is going to be the new source of information for all of us also. Many of us may not be knowing that LinkedIn learning, it was earlier the Linda videos. Now it's called as the LinkedIn learning, is one of the excellent source that new generation uses for teaching and learning something. O'Reilly, we know about the electronic books, but how many of us knows about the O'Reilly videos? So what I mean to say that there are a lot of new sources coming every day. Podcast. So we don't even consider podcast as an information source for our libraries today. So what is changing? All the information sources are changing. Then the usage pattern is also changing. Earlier, we were promoting all the databases whichever are subscribed by our libraries for our users. But nowadays, what we have observed is databases are being consumed more by the library staff for searching and repackaging information, and less by the other people. Then the document delivery services are also increasing, but they are supposed to be, they should be supporting things. Say, for example, if I'm doing a very good current awareness service, the document delivery services will be offshoot of our services, which will be giving it to the users, recommendation engines, whatever Dr. Kalkar or Devati sir or the Kasande sir said, the same thing. It should be the output of that one. Whatever service we are giving it, that will generate a request for a document delivery services. So these are the things changing now nowadays. So what are the other things happening over there? So in today's world, I feel the libraries have got a huge scope if we have an analytical form of a SDI. If we have a new form of a reference service which involves the information repackaging. I remember the reference service which we have studied was kind of something, okay, why not you go through these 3 books and here is the information. No, that is not the information reference services people are asking. They are requesting you to do information searching, repackaging, putting it into abstracting format, summarization, and giving it something which they should be able to consume it readily. That kind of a reference services are required. Then the service approach is need to be changed. All of our librarian, we need to change our service approach from proactive to reactive, and it's a timely delivery. So proactive, what is my management is likely to ask me something tomorrow. See, if I do it today, that is what is the service approach I need to have it. So this is what is the more scope of a services. I can just give you some examples also to how do we do those with services. But for those services, we need some searching skill, some basic skills also. So some of our teachers, they also spoke about the skills for the librarianship. So the important skills, what I thought that from my virtue of experience in a corporate library, we need to have a searching skill for the databases. So a lot of people say I'm very good into the Google searches, I'm very good into database searching and other things. And if you ask them ki, how can you refine your searches using some specific keys and other things, I'm sure 90% of my fellow librarians or colleagues, they will not be able to utilize those searching skills very effectively. So I'm sorry to say that it's a very blunt my observation. I am dealing with them, but we don't have enough searching skill. How many of us know we can set up a alerts for a databases? How many of us use a API which are being provided by the database search engines, and how do we extract information from there? We don't have that information searching skill. Then next one is summarization. Whatever information we search it, we need to summarize it and then put it into a format, in an abstracting format, in a way which users will be able to consume it. And then lastly, the presentation format. So whatever data we give it to the people, we need to give it in a specific presentation format. Another important skill what we need to do is we need to have continuously customer connect with the people. So if there are any changes happening, unless you are in touch with the users, unless you are in touch with your customers, you won't know what exactly changes are happening at their end. And if you know those things, so what we can do is we can proactively acquire that knowledge. So whenever there is a query coming from those people, we don't waste or invest our time into our learning curve, because we already understood what exactly they are doing, what kind of activity they do it, what are the information requirement. So continuous customer connect, these are the important skills whatever required for the new generation of a librarians also. Then use of a tools and other things, auto summarizer, alerts, API, as I said, that we need to acquire it. The librarians have acquired a lot of digital skills in last decade. Now we have to build a foundation, considering these are the foundation new services for our users over there. So I can just share some of the examples into corporate world, what the librarians are doing it. I can proudly tell all of you people, when the pandemic has started, a lot of librarians, they were under pressure what to do and how those people will be utilized. Still, we have 102 librarians working in an organization, that too like a bigger organization like a TCS having 102, probably is the biggest number of a professional librarians working in one team, and they all have been doing some good value adding work over there. So I can share some of the names also. So we are involved into market research. We also compile some products like a deals tracker or the deals analysis. We also compile a competitive intelligence and the competitor analysis also. We are also handling the complete copyright clearances activity for the organization is handled by the IRC team now, the library team. We are also involved into patent summarization. So this kind of a services, if you someone the librarians think, I think they have a bright future. Now, some people will say, no, Kishore, the things are different into academics and things are different into corporate world. But I can list out some of the possibilities into academic world. I have never worked into academic libraries, but I am sure there is a huge scope. See, how many of us gives a selective dissemination of information service to our management? Say, for example, suppose tomorrow UGC, AICT, Board of Technical Education, anything, or even the local bodies, which they come up with some notification, some changes related to the education, which will have an impact on our education policy or education or running the organization. How many us proactively compile that information and give it to our directors or the managements or a dean and other people? How many of us have studied the new education policy and its probable impact, or what are the impacts which is likely to happen with our management? How many of us compile the information? See, now the education is no more a charity, it's a business. So all these private universities and other things are coming. So there is a competition between the institutions also. So from that perspective, I can consider one academic institution or big campus can be a competitor for another educational institute or a big campus, because you try to get a good teachers, you try to get a good students, you try to acquire more better companies to your campus for a campus interviews and other things. So how many of us are tracking our competitors? What are they doing it, and then what we should be doing it? That advisory service can go from a library to all our teachers as well as our policy makers. Even for our training and placement officers, we can just give them information like which are the industries in our area, what is their hiring pattern, what are their plans. Forget about it, just analyze what kind of information advertisements are coming into newspaper and other sources, and then you can list down, okay, these are the skill sets are required by, let's say, mechanical industry, IT industry, or whichever banking industry or financial services industry, and these are the trends over there. So whether how many of these things are covered into a syllabus, because we have access to the syllabus, you can say, okay, I have analyzed last 6 months data, and these are the skills people are asking. So I think there is a gap, and this gap can be filled out. So maybe at least bringing it to the notice of our TPO or our teachers will be a value-adding activity for the librarians from our side. So like that, there are a lot of other things also. We can also have a industry academia connect. We can say, okay, you know most of your students going from there, and if you know somebody is working into so and so institution, you can call them and have a industry academia connect with interface with those people. So that kind of pointers or services are also possible into academic libraries also. So in future of a library and information center, yes, certainly it's a very bright, provided that we bring some changes into our education system. We means the librarians acquire some new skills. We change our approach towards our users. It's a proactive, it should be agile and an open for a profile change. What the Ibati sir was also saying, yes, you be ready to perish. Now, what can we do it? So what are the changes we need to bring into? So in education system, we need to bring a changes for a library science education. We need to change the frequency of a syllabus updating. And we should be always, because the industry is changing every day. So if you are changing your syllabus, say after 5 years or after 10 years, it's of no use. Whatever has been adopted by the industry, you should be able to adopt those changes very slightly, slowly, or whatever possible way immediately next year. Then we should also involve the practical teachers who have been doing this kind of a services or running this kind of a services somewhere. Invite those people for a practical examinations or practical things. We should have more of a analytical assignments in a practical, or we can have some domain knowledge specifications. So for example, librarianship for a medical librarian, librarianship for banking librarians, librarianship for media librarians, and so on. So we can have that kind of a courses also. And the most important is adopt new changes, skills and roles. And then service industry approach has to be there. We should not be rigid like a manufacturing industries in 1990s. I remember the workers and other things, they had a very strong union. Librarian doesn't have a strong union. We have a union, but that nobody listens to our union. So what they were saying, no, they were opposing for the automation. They were opposing for the new skills or the machineries being included into those kind of factories there. So what has happened? People have shifted their factories from one place to another place. I have seen companies going out of Pune to Aurangabad or Pithampur or many other parts of the country also. So what has happened? Finally, those people lost the job. So if we are not changing our approach, the librarians are also likely to lose their jobs. So when any organization giving you a job, they are expecting you to do something. If you are not doing good work into your library field, your dean or your principal and somebody else say, okay, if library is not able to add a value to my organization, let me utilize that librarian for something else. They will also put you for your exam work or maybe another clerical work also. And then we librarians script, no, I am a librarian, and then my management is asking me to do these things because you are not doing your job correctly. That is why your library management is asking you to do those kind of things. So we do a introspection. If this way, we will also start thinking, how can I add a value to my organization? And once we start thinking from this perspective, you will start thinking about the new services. And once you start thinking about the new services, you will also start learning the new skills and other things, and that will start the wheel rolling. And then we will again be able to make a librarian's role across the places, as a very powerful. I have seen a lot of librarians are also there where the principal or the management says, "So come on, let's visit my library. We have got a fantastic librarian." You ask him or her something and they know something else, or they have very good connect. So why we have only 1 or 2 librarians like this? Why not we have 95% of librarians like this? So if we, all of us, we try to do like this, I'm sure we will be able to have a good future for all the libraries and other things. So in short, the libraries are going to be there in the future also, but we are undergoing a new changes. I remember in 1990 when we started learning, people were saying that computer science people are getting into library field and they will take up your job. Nothing has happened. So tomorrow somebody will say, now MBAs are taking your job. But unless we acquire these skills, we are not likely to survive in the organization. I think I have shared my views over here. If there are any questions and other things, I will just give it back control to Dr. Parag Kalkar, and then whenever he's there, I will pitch in again as and when you people ask me to do something.
Yeah, thank you, Kishorji. It was a wonderful sharing, and despite your traveling, I think it was wonderful sharing. And the last line which you used are more important. There is nothing the librarian should worry, but just we have to upgrade and update our role in days to come. So thank you very much. And last panelist, but Honorable Dr. Suresh Patil, I'll request him to kindly share his thoughts. Suresh Patil, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Kalkar, sir. All the panelists, including Dr. Kalkar, Dr. Kasande, Daibhate, and Athavale sir. Athavale sir told the reality situation in our library and information science field. Dr. Daibhate told the theoretical part that librarians should develop themselves and provide various kind of services, etc. But since I am a practical oriented man, started many things in our Jaikar library as well as the Symbiosis International University. I will share some of my experiences in this discussion. So nowadays, whatever books and racks in the library, which have the collection of books and periodicals, maybe the bound volumes or the loose issues of periodicals, they are now replacing into the digital form in the form of ebooks and the server, etc. So these racks now transforming into the digital form. This is one way. Now in the searching techniques, most of the libraries, they have converted their manual catalog into the digital catalog or online catalog. But libraries, they have online databases, online journals, online ebooks. But searching particular information from these databases and particular website, it is very difficult to go to each and every website or the database and find out the information. So coming to this problem, some of the solutions have been invented. That is the discovery service by Ebsco is invented. And what Ebsco discovery service, whatever databases subscribed by the university or institution, or even the open source databases, they are linked together. And once you post the query on the search box, so that query will search all the databases which have been subscribed as well as the open source resources and gives you the result. So this kind of services are now providing by library. But this discovery service is not freely available. It has to be subscribed by the library. This is one way. And another same type of service is the federated search. Once you post the query of the information which you require from the various sources which is available in the library, either in the print form or in the online form. So this federated search also develops such application that once you post the query, it will find out from the all subscribed resources as well as open source resources and gives you the result. So again, this is again the paid services. I will share my experiences about the developing of a library gateways. When I joined with the Symbiosis International University, that time there are 28 institutes in the international university, Symbiosis International University. And every institute is subscribed the resources like books and the journals and the databases separately. And we are spending a lot of monies on that. So university vice chancellor told me that, sir, we are spending a lot of money, but very few people are using such resources. What to do? So then we have find out one solution that whatever resources subscribed by libraries, all the libraries, this has been subscribed by the university setup, so that the money we have saved from the other institutions, and the access will be provided to all 28 institutes. This is one thing. And the second thing, whatever e-resources like databases, online journals, these resources are not properly utilized because they don't get the access. They have to come to the university premises, and then they will get the access. So they said, we want the access from our remote access from our home or institution where they are working. So what we have discussed this problem with the technologists and find out one solution, that is the library gateway. So we have developed a library gateway, and whatever resources we are subscribing as well as the open source resources, we are now inputting all those into the gateway, and now these people are accessing this gateway from their home, because everybody has been provided the login and password. So all 13,000 users have been provided the login and password by the universities. So this is the present situation we have been developed in that direction. In terms of the future libraries, some technologies have been innovated, as Dr. Deshpande suggested, that some technologies like virtual libraries. Now, virtual libraries are now already established, and on this virtual references also there. So you can put your query with the virtually and get some information from this virtual library. Then National Education Policy, Dr. Athole has already given some of the thoughts on education policy and its role played by the librarian, and how we can provide the best services from the library, etc. And the technologies which are used right now in the education industry, that is computers. Every institution has the computers and the tablets. Then cloud technology is also used by majority of the institution, because cloud technology, you have to be purchased and subscribed. It is not free. So that's why you have to be purchase this cloud technology. Then there are certain ideas or innovative technologies to be developed in the future of the library. That is big data. Dr. Deshpande already told about the big data. Whatever data we have stored in the library, it has to be analyzed, and we have to analyze these large data sets also, so that it will be useful for the users. So that is big data development can be done in the innovative technology. Artificial intelligence, this is another way for delivering the information to the users. So we have to focus on the developing the application of artificial intelligence to provide the information services to our user. Then another technology is blockchain technology. I am not expert in the technology. Whatever technology I have read in the, so I just giving within 2 minutes and finish it. So blockchain technology that will be useful to build the metadata system in the libraries. Then IoT has also one of the technology, that is Internet of Things. This library can offer the better users experiences and enriching its services, technologies through drone, etc. This can be developed IoT. Then library bookmark application. So still it is in the concept. So technologies, and with the help of librarian, they can develop such application in the bookmark application. Then users focus interfaces and application. As I have told you, the user, whatever need of the users, it has been to be assessed, and on the basis of assessment, so we have to develop such application which can be focused on the user's requirement. So that is there. Then digital interfaces for printed books. Huh? Hello. So the another area, that is drone to deliver information and documents to the disability person, those who not come to the library. So that service can be provided through the drone. Then digital storytelling. This is also one of the important features from the library. Libraries are working with writers and the coders to create interactive stories where readers can control the narrative flow. So librarian can control the narrative flow with the help of authors, and they can tell the story and their experiences to the users of the library. So there should be one of the open libraries technologies that can be developed. Open libraries are being used to extend the opening hours, not to reduce the staff, etc. And lastly, web catalog. So there are most of the libraries, they have the web catalog. I will share my experience of the web catalog just within 1 minute. So whatever institution in Symbiosis, 28 institutes. So all these 28 institutes have now one catalog. You can search the catalog either by institute wise or commonly with all the resources which are available in other institutions. So this is how librarian has a lot of work to do, and he can become the leadership in the library profession. So thank you very much, because now time is already over. So now to Kadkar sir.
Fantastic, Professor Dr. S.K. Patil sir. Actually, Kalkar sir just got disconnected, but really it's here.
Yes,
thank you, sir. Hand over to you again.
Kalkar sir.
Over to you. Over to you, sir.
There is an interruption, madam.
Yeah, I think so.
I think, sir.
I think some
disturbance,
connectivity issues are there. I think he's asking to unmute.
I think
it's really been a fantastic session so far, and I think he got disconnected. And really, we are interested in getting the closing remarks. For closing remarks, now I invite Professor Dr. Shailesh Kasande sir to please give the closing remarks. Then we will move towards the QA of this fantastic panel discussion. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Meenalok. Since Dr. Kalkar has some technology issues on his behalf and on behalf of all the panelists over here. So as we had a wonderful cross-section of representation of thoughts and experts across academia, industry, different organizational setups, university, private university, affiliated colleges, private colleges. And the very fact that we have a diversity or a spectrum of opinion and we have various views on the role of librarian and the contribution, and we are having this session itself, I think underlines the role of librarian. One thing I think all of us will agree upon is the role in terms of the partnership with academia, partnership with decision makers, internal as well as external, and without losing sight of the ground realities, which I think Dr. Subhash Athawale has pinpointedly mentioned. But I think on the other hand, we understand through the thoughts presented by Dr. Dahibate, Dr. Suresh Patil, Dr. Kishore Ingre about the potential of what the librarian can contribute. So if we have to realize and attain, and if the society has to benefit from the collective expertise, intelligence of the librarians, I think the entire academic system, it owes to the librarians a kind of an environment, a kind of a policy framework where librarians can contribute. On the other hand, I believe, as maybe Dr. Kishore Ingre mentioned, and to some extent, I also second his thoughts, that motivated, experienced, innovative, initiative-taking librarians are more an exception rather than a norm. So I think there is some food for thought for this. And whatever are the exceptions, the iconic role models within the library community, I think they have to take the lead. And we have many such librarians who have been awarded and felicitated and so on and so forth. So this wonderful forum has presented this. I will leave with one more thought. We keep on talking of technology as a driver of the change, but that has always been there. I think the real problems always lie in the people, motivation, and the organizational culture and decision-making systems, which obviously are also partly due to the regulatory framework that we function in. But in spite of all of this, the stakeholders are continuously evolving, be they students, be the researchers, be the faculty members. And there is no point in only looking backward, but we all should collectively look ahead. And forums like these, I think, should be more a continuous practice. As we talk of the white paper and so on, these things can be documented. One can look for the low-hanging fruits and try and see what change we can do, and then kind of partition this into a short-term, medium-term, long-term goals, and maybe create a matrix of what has to be put at the doorstep of the regulator for a long-term sustainable change, and what we can do at individual and institute or university level. So I think that should be good enough as a summarization, and we are more eager to take up questions from the participants. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all the panelists for their time and very insightful thoughts and presentations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Shailesh Kasande sir, for your fantastic conclusory remark given for this panel discussion. From the 360 degrees, we have tried our level best to visualize this concept, libraries and information centers at present and in future. So what we can do for the progression of this, not only this profession, but also of the entire academic fraternity. From that angle, we have tried our level best to visualize. Number one idea we tried to visualize is the application of the collaborative efforts. And this idea actually we conducted in the first day session of this virtual international development program, when SLA USA president conducted her session on collaborative efforts, not only at the national, but at the global level. What can we do for the free flow of information? And in one of the interviews also, I mentioned this idea the tagging should not be there at the national, local, or the sub-local level. But library professional is a library professional. So we should dedicate to the profession, and we should contribute for the free flow of information at from any part of the world. If there is a demand for information, as a professional, it is our prime duty to provide that information and satisfy our user community. It might be online, offline information, anyhow we have to. As far as status is concerned, certainly librarians are having a challenge to create own status in spite of giving this. So there is a challenge. We are every now and then challenges everywhere we have to face. Not only library professionals, other professionals are also facing, but we have to create our own position, certainly through our services, through our provision of excellent services. That's what I believe. One thing only I would like to suggest before moving towards the QA, that is the fantastic suggestion given by our chairperson, Professor Dr. Parag Kalkar, to start the credit-based paper for the student community. So actually on this also we discussed earlier that there is a need to utilize the library material, because what has happened, the open source material, if the content is being ready-madely provided to you, the user community is not able to first of all understand the authenticity of the material which is being used. If you are using at UG PG level, they are not able to understand the criteria of authenticity. Even they are very raw in usage of and preparation of the bibliographies, how to refer the standard sources. They are not having developed reading habits as such. So this is a preferred requirement for a researcher at the level of after registration of PhD degree. You cannot imbibe the habits of reading. So good reading habits you have to cultivate from the UG PG level only. So that was our point of discussion. So in this regard, I would like to add that in such a credit-based program, we should add actually from the SPPO point of view, and that will be a real welcoming step, I should say. In that paper, we can add the certain related areas such to solve the unawareness about the publication world as far as the users are concerned, even polishing their writing skills, their reading skills, their referring skills, preparation of the bibliographies, and how they should take the reading very sincerely and how can they apply it very sincerely, of course, for the betterment of the profession and entire academic fraternity. So with this addition, let me move towards the question and answer session. The first question to Professor Dr. S.K. Patil sir. Actually, this is in relation to the collaborative studies. The question is, there are so many discussions on the collaborative efforts. So in this regard, if we are focusing on the faculty and librarians collaboration, so what are the prominent studies you can suggest so that the entire academic fraternity will get the benefit of it? Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Minal. To establish the program, collaborative program with faculty members and the library staff members, so this has to be developed, discussed with the faculty members. What kind of collaboration they wanted to do with the library. So this has to be developed, discussed with the faculty members as well as the librarians. Once they have decided that on this program we can work, so then it can be possible to find out the collaborative program and first of all find out the resources. Then the proposal can be submitted to the institution, and after getting the sanction from the institution, then we can start working on the collaborative project. So there are various aspects of collaborative project. We can prepare the bibliography with maybe on one particular topic with the help of the faculty members, or we can develop the research methodology program with the faculty members. So subjects may be variation, with the faculty member. That you have to decide with faculty member.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. That will be certainly a huge addition as far as initiation of the program is concerned. The second thing I would like to discuss with Professor Dr. Shailesh Kasande about the initiation of the 2 credit programs for the UG and PG level. So will you please highlight your view in this regard as far as application of such addition is concerned through the elective mode? Over to you, sir.
See, one of the issues that you mentioned is about understanding the authenticity or credibility of a resource. And that is part of a wider 21st century skill framework where we talk of understanding the digital skills. So I think it is very much pertinent, first of all. Secondly, there could be a lot of innovative ways of integrating this 2 credit course with the other courses per se. In the sense that can we conduct conversations directly in the library also, and wherein we can make certain utilization of the library resources. So that 2 credit course can be definitely introduced as an elective. My only worry is once it is introduced as an elective, there will be only few progressive forward-looking institutes which will kind of offer it. But in spite of that worry, I think it would be a good beginning. And it can act as a differentiator, and we can intelligently use it either for the weak learners or for the, say, the bright learners also. And it will at least roll out a kind of a forward-looking intent on part of the community to respect and integrate and kind of prioritize and take it on the agenda. So I think we can do it instantly. As far as the management courses at SPPU are concerned, I think we are coming up for a revision in the next academic year. So this can come ahead and integrated into the curriculum.
Fantastic, fantastic, sir. Actually, that reminds me, you mentioned your worry. Only a handful institutions will go for it. Forward-looking institutes will opt that paper. But that is, it's a fact. I still remember while framing and writing down the 12th syllabi for library and information science, for the textual of Balbati, we also faced the same issue. Why when we introduced Koha in their text, that time many people from the areas, they mentioned their objections regarding why you are including Koha as a part of the text material at the level 12. So it is not required because we have to revise our knowledge and all that. But we did it, and only handful colleges, those are very serious about the education of LIS, they are pursuing that program. It is an elective program, but definitely it is a forward-looking step. At least somewhere it will start, and it's very positive thing that management domain, from management domain, the professors are very serious and they are very focused about the cultivation of the reading habits of the researchers. Thank you so much, sir, for your focused approach, and I'm sure it will work at large in near future. Third question is to Dr. Dahibate, sir, Dr. N.V. Dahibate, sir. Are you there, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, Professor Dr. Santosh Deshpande mentioned the application of AI in the libraries. So in your view, what are the major applications possible as far as AI in libraries is concerned? Because there are so many innovations coming nowadays as far as ICT applications are concerned. So what is your vision about that? Will you please share?
Actually, this is all ICT based application we can definitely apply in our profession. If we start with the thing, automation and all these things, basic work we have already completed. Now artificial intelligence is going to come, but it is in the pathway. Many services we are giving based on the different searching elements, and I hope this will help in the future when we accept all these things. Research libraries, they are already marching ahead, but in academics, it is going to still come. I hope it will come very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Minal, can I add something here?
Yes, Kishore, please go ahead.
Yeah, I thought that it will be more apt for me to share what we have been doing it in this
Certainly,
area.
certainly. Please go ahead.
We have two real life examples. See, what we do is, as a part of a service, we also update all our people what are the deals which are expiring in next 2 years. So this data we compile it from multiple databases. So let's say if I'm compiling a database from 4 different sources, the same name of a company, the way we used to do a standardization of an author, somebody will say Deshpande Pooler, somebody will say Purushottam Lakshman Deshpande, somebody will say PL Deshpande. So you have to automate it, right? So you have to do it manually. So we have developed an algorithm of a machine learning and AI algorithm which does this activity very, very smoothly. And then we have been able to save almost 14 man days in a quarter. And then we have been able to double the frequency of a product which we used to bring out over there. So that's an excellent example. Another example which is still in a pipeline, what we have done is we have developed a proof of concept. It's working fine and will be working now. Say, for example, every day in the morning, 3 of my team members, they get up and then they update our CEO and other people what are the recent developments happening in our area. Now, over a period of time, this information service is being very well valued by those people. We also realize it. It's practically impossible for somebody to identify a trend from this news and other things. So we have developed an application. So what it will do, it will look at all the news for a particular competitor or for a particular customer in last 6 months or 1 year. Will identify the important milestones from there and tell my organization what is likely to happen. Just to give you for a hypothetical situation. Let's say 6 to 7 months back, there was a news that somebody from so and so domain has joined the Infosys. Then after another 2-3 months, they say that Infosys has parked some fund for acquisition in the same area where that person has joined for some company. And then they say that Infosys has won a big deal in this kind of industry. So if you identify these 3 news, these are the 3 independent news which has come over a period of a time in the last 6 months. My algorithm will be able to predict and will say, okay, see, somebody has joined in this domain to Infosys. Infosys is also having some funds for a buying of some other company. And then they also got a recently one big deal in this area. So what is likely to happen? Infosys is likely to do acquisition of a smaller company working in this area is a analytical output of this particular tool. So this is an excellent example of a AI and ML. And we already implemented it and we are just fine tuning it. And this is a very confidential thing, but I know just by telling all of the librarians and other things, you are not going to steal my intellectual property, nor you will be able to develop it immediately, the same tool also. So this kind of applications there are plenty of applications what we have been using it. That is why I was saying when Dr. Deshpande said this we should have it, I felt as if my colleague has resigned from a TCS and joined over there because all those things we have been doing it day in and day out. So there are ample examples of using of AI and ML into library science also.
Very good, very good. As far as the corporate libraries are concerned, so many things we can adopt. I'm certainly sure about it, and there are live examples with you. I think we can promote the students for the project work at TCS. Many times we are promoting at UKishore, right? So this can be the additional thing for us to work on AI and how can we apply at the academic libraries, because the frame is certainly different, but application and customization is definitely possible. So it has opened the new vistas definitely in front of our eyes. Thank you so much, Kishore, for that. The next question is to Dr. Subhash. Subhash sir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, actually, the question is, as far as the NEP is concerned, what will be the application from the library point of view and the librarian's role? Actually, you have conducted the session, but still the question is there. So I can request you to handle this.
National education policy is talking all in depth. Basically, as we have discussed yesterday, it is starting from school education, and they are talking about information in the mother tongue. So that particular thing is going to help, and that particular thing is going to really take you further. In the beginning, as we have discussed that school education till standard 5th or till standard 8th, you should have your teaching should be in the mother tongue. So the brain of a child is being developed during that particular age. And so if a particular student gets the information or the knowledge in the mother tongue, then definitely that will help to clear his concepts. Clearing concepts also one of the key area which national education policy is discussing upon. National education policy is also discussing about skills, and it is also discussing about providing information, that is CAS and SDI. So I think if we'll take it together, then providing the services and putting librarians' role everywhere. See, for example, preparing the syllabus. As I was discussing, that making of a syllabus is a big thing. Rightly said by the Kishore, that whatever industry requirements are there, and if we are not inculcating those requirements into our syllabus, and we are not training our students accordingly, I think that that is not going to serve the purpose. Giving traditional education is one part, but giving skill education and giving required education, industry-based, skill-based education is another part. And I think the provisions have been made in national education policy that they should be taken up, and the fast implementation of that and proper acceptance of that. Because if you look at the status today, there are committees have been formed by the state governments, and the processes and the discussion that how we should take it. Some of the state governments have started adopting the policy. So I think rather than delaying that, and we have a very good example of 1986 policy, that the document of current document of 2020, right in the beginning note says that not only 4% of the suggestions which have been given in 1986 policy have been brought to the implementation. So I think if we look to that, and if you'll try to take these things further, and if you'll really implement it in the scope and the spirit the committee has suggested, I think that will definitely be helpful, and the role of librarian will definitely enhance due to the services which are expected into the national education policy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Subhash sir. I think, yeah, you rightly answered. That will enhance the role of librarians as far as NEP is concerned. And I think there are so many features like multiple entries, multiple exit for the students, as well as the skill-based program integration. Also, that feature is been also added in NEP. So that will also enhance the role of librarians.
Choice-based is one of, choice-based is also one of the.
Choice-based. So such features are very special for the NEP. And I think it will certainly enhance the role of librarians. Thank you so much, Dr. Subhash. Almost all the QA we have completed. And one more question is there in the chat box. How we attract maximum students towards library for Patil sir, Dr. S.K. Patil sir. Actually, there are so much questions on WhatsApp. I already wrote that, but on just now somebody uploaded the question. Dr. Patil sir, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes,
it's
madam.
For you. How we can attract maximum students towards the library?
Yes. Yes, you can attract the maximum students, because there are many students, they are not even turned to the library. So how you identify this information, this is one thing. And once you identify this information, then you can attract those students by various arranging some program like storytelling program, individually inviting in the library, and what are their problems not coming to the library, that can be identified. But identifying the information which students are not even coming to the library, so this can be identified with the help of library software. Okay, so if you look at the Koha features, Koha library software will help you. There is a provision in the Koha library management software that the students who are not at all use the library or not even borrow the single books from the library, so their list will be provided by the Koha system. So you can invite those students to the library and identify their problems, why they are not coming to the library. whether they have their own books, then you can provide another such programs to them. And this way you can attract the student to the library.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Minal,
so
can I
much.
add something here?
Yes,
Yes, Kishore.
Even I would like to.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, okay. See, what Dr. Patil has told us, now I'll just take it further. So when someone says, how do we attract people to a library, I take it as, how do we use the library resources? It could be print, maybe it could be electronic also. So I'll just ask a simple question to all the librarians. Many of us, we have access to your nature, science, or HBR through your databases, whichever you are subscribed, right? So, and most of them, I'm just taking the 3 examples into science and management area. So, because most of the places, these resources are accessible to all the people. Now, if you visit to the web page of a nature or a science or the HBR page, they all every 15 days they publish the articles which are maximum number of times people have been reading it or downloading it from there. Just take out this one and just send a mail to all your people, whether they are coming to library or not. As long as they are member of your library, send a mail. These are the top reads from a science. These are top read from a nature. These are top read from a HBR. Best read from a HBR. Just give them abstracts and other things, which one can download it freely, whether you have access to that or not, irrespective of that. Send it to those things. At least I'm sure at least 10 to 15% of the people will come back to you. They will say, we would like to read it. Then you can say, you can read it electronically. If you have access, you can guide them. Okay, we have access to those so and so things like this, or you can come down to a library. I'm sure you will be able to start increasing a number of people coming to your places. So these are very small few steps. And once you convert them into users, you can keep them engaged with your library and you can increase your resources. I have been experimenting it and we have seen a great output of these kind of services, whatever we are doing it. So proactiveness and then thinking something creatively will add a value to all our library services. With this kind of services, we'll be able to attract more users to library.
Yeah. So such live examples.
I would like to add up one thing, that marketing of your services is very much essential, and innovative services. So if we'll give some innovative services and if we'll market them properly, adding up of resources, yes, that we always do. But then whenever we are adding any resource, if we are not marketing that resource, again, the principle of Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, every reader reads book. So we should be acting as a bridge between the reader and the book and the book and the reader. So I think if we'll do that, then definitely the readers or the users are going to come to library and they're going to take the benefit of it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's certainly worry for the administrators as well, how to generate the ROI of the subscribe resource. Definitely, it might be print or non-print, because for the library, certainly ROI is nothing but the satisfaction of users. So for getting it at maximum level, we should focus it on that. It can be through the variety of services only. With this word, I would like to close this panel discussion, and really I'm happy that we are able to organize it at such a level, and definitely we will work one white paper on this, because the output is so huge that we can introduce a separate paper on this regarding the utilization of library material, and it can be the best elective. And the management domain people are very, very enthusiastic as far as the inclusion of this paper is concerned. And so are we also. We are also very enthusiastic about that. So both the ends are very in a collaborative mood, and definitely are interested in inclusion of it. So we are hoping for the best. First of all, I thank the chairman, Professor Dr. Parag Kalkar, for his acceptance and also for attending this panel discussion so interestingly and giving the valuable inputs as a dean of SPPU for management and commerce. So I'm sure we will be able to introduce it in the domain of management and commerce. At least we can start with that. And I also thank all the panelists for their enthusiastic additions, as well as the many things, many related aspects, not only with the academics, but also from the industry inputs excellently given by Kishore Ingre. As and when we need, he surely confirmed that he will be there and he is giving so many inputs as a corporate librarian, and he also again very enthusiastic in adding those to the academic level also. So thank you so much, Kishore, for being with us, and all the other panelists, especially Professor Dr. Shailesh Kasande sir. He's a great visionary as far as the management education is concerned. I have seen his work since from the beginning when I joined the Management Institute, and definitely we are thankful for giving the valuable concludatory remark also, sir, from you. And we will definitely work on the white paper for this. I thank Dr. Subhash Athole for pinpointedly chalking out the things on the ground realities, and whatever we can solve at the ground level also while going ahead. My thanks are due to the advisory members, Professor Dr. S.K. Patil sir and Dr. Daibate sir, for always there being with us. And really it's a huge support for me. Earlier also I mentioned that it's possible for me to really jump on various themes because of the support of the entire academic fraternity. So I thank you so much all for your enthusiasm and the valued input, I should say. My thanks are due to the Professor Dr. Santosh Deshpande sir for excellently elaborating the ICT ideas and his vision towards the library. Every day, almost every day we are discussing, at least we are trying to discuss, because of the various aspects on the institutional background. Day-to-day discussing is not possible, but whenever we are discussing, almost every time we are discussing it, that how can we try to give maximum benefit to our users for achieving their maximum satisfaction, because things are very different in a management institute. At in every domain, actually the things and challenges are very different. So every time we have to deal with it. I'm sure we all are able to handle it, and we'll go ahead in the benefit of entire academic fraternity. I also thank our entire technical staff supporting to Zoom link, Dr. Mukul Kulkarni sir, as well as my library staff, wholeheartedly supporting me from entire month for the preparation of this work and implementation of this work, certainly. And last but not least, all the participants. There are 401 total participants registered for this program from not only from India. From India, there are 382 participants. Apart from India, there are participants from UK, USA, United Kingdom, Mauritius, Pakistan, Oman, Bangladesh, Kenya, Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Armenia. Out of 401 participants, there are 225 librarians, 2 are deputy librarians, 65 are doctorates, and remaining are the school librarians and other library science professionals. So it's covering almost all the segments of library professionals. So thank you so much for being there with us and showing benefit. I'm so sorry, showing this belief, and I'm sure you will be happy to join with us for the next year's offline program. I wish you all the best in your career and provide your services so qualitatively and more effectively henceforth. Thank you so much. And please do not forget to fill up the feedback form and submit it, which will be a great input for all of us.